at school they tell us to focus and they tell us to study, but they never tell us how to do it. So you look at even a dot on the wall and you truly focus your gaze on it. It took me years to regain my will to study. Honestly, I believe the schooling system completely obliterated it. And I believe this is one of the reasons why studying can be labeled as, for some, a boring thing to do. But I believe learning is one of the most exciting things. It's just that personally, I framed it into a system that I didn't really like. Also, I believe at school they tell us to focus and they tell us to study, but they never tell us how to do it. Meta learning, the art of learning, should be fundamental in the schooling system. I don't know in your country, but in Italy we never really dig into this topic. I don't know nowadays how it is. Hopefully now something has changed. Let me know if you in the comments if in your country it's different and if nowadays it is different. So what if learning could be really exciting? So 80% of what we read, hear, or even study, it's gone in 1-2 days. That's the retention that a normal human being has. Mainly because our brains aren't made for storing, but mainly for processing informations. The brain is a processing machine. It's not a storing machine. So the goal is not truly to collect information, but to find a way to connect them and recall them for retention. So create connections. Sorry for the brief interruption. Sorry for the brief interruption, but if you want the full experience, join our collective on Patreon. There you will have exclusive content, tips, full-length videos, and a community of like-minded people to grow faster. So there is a really interesting, let's call it biohacking trick before you actually start learning or creating or anything that requires flow. Pretty much everything is done better when you flow. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the focus sight. So you look at even a dot on the wall and you truly focus your gaze on it, like nearly like cross-eyeing a little. That's a bit the feeling that you get. It can be also a distant object like a number plate outside the window, and you stare at it from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And you can do this as a single session, or you can do like 1.5, 2 minutes, and then 30 seconds, eyes closed, pumps on your eyes, and you can do this cycle 3 times. You kind of get a bit high. You know that you're doing it right because you start feeling a bit unsettled. Everything around the focal point will start overexposing and vibrating. What this does, it releases a pretty interesting mix of chemicals in your brain, which goes from norepinephrine, which is a precursor of adrenaline, dopamine, and we'll dig deeper in future episodes in dopamine. And then you release acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is, we would describe it as the highlighter compound in our brain. So it highlights the neural pathways that are important. So if you do it before you study, you have a pretty good blend of magic to get you going, and you'll be even excited to do it. It kind of says to the brain, it's time to focus, it's time to remember. Another trick that I advise is to take regular breaks. Like for me, my pattern is 25 minutes and I have like 30 seconds where I look outside the window. Again, with focus sight for 30 seconds, couple of deep breaths, come back to the present and look outside to relax my eyes. And then every 50 minutes to, let's say, 70 minutes, I take a 10 minutes break. If you want, we can have an episode on breaks. It's really important to keep your flow, to do deep work for like 6, 7, 8 hours. You need to have a proper break practice, let's say. The mindset shift that studying isn't memorizing, but is more about connecting, creating, and coaching, teaching. These are 3 fundamental steps to have retention and recall. Think more like a creator, not a student. The act of teaching, even to yourself or like a plant or your cat, is a really great tool to master ideas. We use questions to create. Questions aren't just tools, they are actually answers.